How you doing? So glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. We are South Main Auto. Actually, we're not. Jimmy making it work. But we do have some lawn service going on in the background. Trying to emulate the popular channels. See if we can get close to 1 million subscribers because I don't think that's how you're going to really do it. But you hear them back there. I'm not playing. We are going to spend a day in the shop. We're not just going to horse around. We're going to have some fun. But we're going to try to learn things and get people back on the road and keep the lights on and get the grass looking good. That's what we're doing today. I hope you'll stay tuned. We got some nice weather. It's about 72, 73 degrees. Gassed up the Tundra this morning. Got a little racetrack coffees, the lottery tickets. That's a good retirement plan, the lottery, by the way. What do they call it? A tax on the gold. Anyhow, let's finish getting this place open up and get started. I am anxious to get started. I got to finish up that Chevy Cruze from yesterday. Look at the Ford Fusion a little more. They want to look at it a little further. So, now he's coming. Now he's literally coming right by me with the lawn equipment. So let's finish getting this place open up and get started. Stay tuned. We could do a transmission drain and fill as well. So I'm just going to drain the fluid into a measured container, see how much came out, and put it in the top of the funnel. It has a fill cap on these GMs. Some TPMS sensors and an induction service. This thing's done. We're going to put some of these Autel sensors in there, and we'll run through setting that up. It's pretty easy, actually. You can clone them. Like, we just had a locksmith make him a new ignition key while I was working on it, and he just takes the old key, cuts the new key to match it, and then he clones the new key to match the old key. You don't have to do any programming. You just test it, make sure it works, and you're done. We'll do something similar with these. First thing we got to do, get the air out of there so we can break that bead, get access to the sensor. Got a new one right here. The first one I did broke the threads off the top. So I've been using my pocket knife to cut some of the rubber. Of course, you got to unscrew the sensor too, the little Torx bit on these. These have the clip. You push this little clip and it pulls the stem out. It's actually a lot easier to change. Anyway, let's get ourselves a rush of air. Sometimes you can break the rest of the bead on the other side to help it relax a little more. On the other end of the same bead. The bottom bead I don't break, that way I don't have to rebalance the tire. That's the goal anyway. If it does turn, if the tire turns on the wheel, then go on to the balancer. Remember that. This is the, I should have had the valve stem a little further over, but we'll be alright. mushroom tip a little bit. I use the piece of wood or plastic or whatever's around to protect the wheel and get some leverage. Now, these are supposedly designed to pry on the wheel, but you can see someone did it once before and there's a scratch right across from the valve stem. I don't like to do it that way. Also, this is a lot of brass, so I put it in the strut muddle. A little bit of tire soap makes the process go a little easier. Put some on here too when we go back to get it. Just a little bit. Pulls in like a regular valve stem. If you're familiar with the old school, just had a rubber valve stem and no sensor attached. Seated.
We're doing lower control arm, inner and outer tie rod in, sway bar for 4 hours.
Sounds about right.
And an hour and a half to put a power steering pump on.
Sounds about right. Customer parts. This is going to pop right at me. Every one of them's done it. I just turn it a little bit. Just in case. You never know if the tire's going to split or do something weird.
I still have the core in there, so it's going to go slow. I'll speed it up.
Get these wheels torqued on the car. Get them programmed.
New bot bucket.
Alright, I got my dongle in place. I got my auto firing up. Ignition's on. I'm gonna learn some TPMS sensors. Well, I don't do these a lot, so I get out of practice. I gotta find the cloning area. TPMS. Accept. What happens if you don't want to accept their terms? You don't get to do it, I guess. Let me get this fired up. Oh, there it goes. Programming. Copy by OBD. There is no available, so I got to go into Relearn. OBD Relearn. Ensure your vehicle sensors have been triggered. You have 4 sensors not triggered. Let me see something here. Diagnostics. I think diagnostics will upload the sensors that exist in the software in the module, and then I activate the sensors to tell them which ID I want them to do. There you go. There's my 4 IDs. Service function. There we go. Do you want to program this sensor? Now it may yell at me and say, wait, you haven't activated the sensor. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Then we'll go around each wheel, and when we're done, we should have a working TPMS system. you go to the next one. We'll do all 4 of these and then we'll come back, take a look at some pressure data. Should be good. Alright, I took the Autel TPMS tool off and put my ThinkCar 689 BT on it and brought up the signal data in the BCM for the sensors. 100%. So we're set. This thing is good to go. I do have to do an induction service. Then it's good to go. Right now it's cooking off everything I sprayed and cleaned. Can't hear the purge valve anymore, so that's good. This thing needs a valve cover gasket, so hopefully once all that burns off, it won't be smoking like that, and we'll recheck it, make sure it doesn't have any major leaks, because if it does, I'll get a gasket and put it on there. I'm not going to send it out of here like this after. If I do find out it's leaking, I'm not going to ship it after doing all that work. You know what I'm saying? We're going to find out if it keeps leaking or keeps smoking. I do not see any wet, fresh oil here, so I think that'll burn off. And you wouldn't even know it was running if it wasn't for that little Ecotech shake. It's not a misfire. They just shake a little bit. I'm going to take her for a drive. We got no more lights on the dash. We did a whole bunch of services, tune-up, coolant work. Induction service is done. I didn't film it. It's boring. Lowered the battery terminal, treated that little area that was bad. Let's take her for a drive. And I think we got the starter for the Honda from yesterday. So we'll get on that next, I believe. Oh, quality, Total Pro. That's the best. That's the best one you can get, I would think. It's like 1.2 hours labor, so it must be pretty easy. Stop! Before you return this part, make sure there isn't something else wrong. Okay. Fitting, connector. Disconnect our battery. It's safe to work without shorting any wiring. Some cars, when it's real easy to get to, I'll do it without doing that, but I would recommend that. Only for a professional. Someone who likes to live on the edge can do that. If you don't like to live on the edge, don't do it. You guys might also know that I will gravity check. I will probably discard our original nut. Well, not that came with the starter, and use the original nut. Let's put it that way. I don't know why they insist on the cheapest hardware money can buy. Hey, look at that washer. I don't get it. Probably a big old subframe in the way, and plus my forehead. Those two things make it really awkward to watch. But that's what we're doing right here. Honda has one bolt here and one bolt right there. You see that sticking out right here? Right up here? They're really cool. They made it nice and long so it's easier to get in and out. But it will be roughly 700 foot-pounds if you're familiar with Hondas. Like the other day, they like stuff tight. That's what I'm saying. And we're gonna see if we can overcome that. It's always a challenge, but I'll meet that challenge. I'll see that challenge and I'll raise you 20. That wasn't that bad. That was only Toyota type. Kind of surprising. Let's hope the other one's the same way. I think on that one I might need a swivelly. I don't know if my little straight socket is going to do it. This Milwaukee ratchet's a beast. I just had to fool it by spinning it and dropping it on there a couple times. Which I didn't think it was going to work, but I kept trying. Look at that thing. It's all part of the show. I want to put on a good show, so I'm going to do what I got to do, right? This is stuck in the way. There's a rubber boot up here. I'll show you what that looks like. Gotta get that. I think it's a 12. I think it's a 12mm nut. It even looks like the right starter and everything. It's easier to do the cable without the starter bolted to the motor. So that's what I'm trying to do. Going back in is a little more awkward, but there's a fighting gravity, I guess. There's a key on there to line up the cable. Booty in place. It's a tight pack seal too because it's weather. They want it weatherproof, I'm guessing. You cannot see that bolt at all. So good luck with that. I didn't think so. I'd use the extension on the bottom bolt. If you saw yesterday's video, I had my voltmeter attached to this S terminal. And it would go click, and my voltmeter would jump up and show that voltage came to the starter. But it is intermittent. So we'll try it a few times when we get it back together here and see how it goes. And then this goes into a hole bit. That's what it should look like when you're done. Let's see if it starts once we hook that battery back up. That's the right battery in the car either, but moving on. What's next? I just came back to lunch. Just came back from lunch. That's it. And this Lexus has been through some stuff. You can see the grill's not doing too good. I think he's been bouncing off of stuff. We've got another issue. He drove it in here. He didn't tell me. They handed me this. They said, "Go ahead and fix it." Okay. It needs more than just a strut, but the strut will get it so it holds the tire and kind of in place a little. Big problem is the wheel's going to want to come off like BMW style. on to that for me a second. Huh. Look how far he drove it with the wheel rubbing on the strut, rubbing on the fender. Look at the tire. Hit that son of a gun. It's the only way you're gonna learn. Oh, the other problems are that right there, and the front one, there's oil leaking all over it, and the bushings are toast, but we don't have any money, so we're just gonna fix some of it and send him on his way. 12 millimeter, 18 millimeter, maybe a 19. I think it's 18. Got to unbolt the strut from the top. Complete strut assembly, so that's good. See if we can get it off of there. That's why I grabbed a 22. I was like, what the heck happened with my nuts were different sizes than I thought. That's where the 20. I knew it was a 22 I needed for something on this thing. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised the hood shot stuff worked. Got cheater connector holes, so that's good. Gotta get those bolts out of there, and everything else happens under here. That's out. I'm gonna find an Allen key. What I like to do on these, if you haven't seen other videos where the jam nut set up like a sway bar link, I'll spin the nut with the socket knowing that it probably won't come off the stud. And once you spin it, you know it's not really tight. Then you can turn the Allen bolt and hold the nut with a wrench. That's the point I'm at now. But it's a tiny little Allen. I'm down to like a 7 or so and it doesn't fit. We'll get an even smaller one, that's all. 5 millimeter. Gracious goodness. Uh-oh. Something land on my toes, that's all. Well, this is gonna fall. So let's take a precaution here. Probably shouldn't have been so anxious to unbolt it, huh? Let me go like this. See if that'll help. I don't know if it will, but wow. What a mess. You guys already know about the gear wrench hammer wrench set. I think I showed you last week. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna have to take a shower after I'm done. Uh-oh, my hook's not holding anymore. Now I'm living on the edge for real. Now it's just in my way. Oh well. Can't say we didn't give it a try. You can see if this thing will come off the bottom here. Let's thank you, sir. Oh, is that his? Is that his or mine?
she broken. It's a little bit broken.
So is the lower arm, basically. The hydraulic oil in that strut. It looks like, what was the guy in Aliens? Gibson? Looks like his blood. You gotta push through the pain. Oh, there's bugs over here. That's cool. There's all kinds of different varieties of bugs floating around out in here. We have to spray ourselves down before we get in our own vehicle. I don't want to bring any of that home. Oh my goodness. Let's do this, you son of a... Wait a second. I need that. Let's take a break. Alright. Another car with a broken front end, is that? Looks like a Ford Explorer with ball joints that came apart. Everyone's driving until they literally break and get stranded on the side of the road. Then they add a tow bill to the repair, plus all the time they spent on this side of the road. I couldn't afford to fix it until I broke down. Now I'll find a way to afford it. Okay. You gotta have a plan, that's what I'm saying. You gotta get a pry bar.
Like, I know you want the car done, and you want to make sure it's okay, but it'd be a whole lot better if you just sit your ass inside.
Yeah. You sit your ass inside. Oh my goodness. What is that? Uh-oh. Come on, man. You're killing me, bro. That was probably one of the more difficult strut bolts I've ever had to get back together. That was very strange. I had to push on it with my breastises. But we got it done. That's the most important thing. Mechanics go to the end of the earth just to get something done and get a 1 hour labor. I think it's actually 1.5. I'm really glad I canceled that gym membership I told you about. I used to go to the gym 4 times a week. Those are the days. That was when I was a kid in my 40s and 50s. Other things we got to do. I'm going to put this and this. Those guys intermingle. The sharing of a bolt hole. Everything on this car is just carbon and oil and grease. mechanics that don't like getting messy. Try that if you don't have tons of experience and you're not really old. Why you have to be old, I don't know. This wasn't connected. It was open, but let's see if I can fix it. Yeah. I think the tire knocked it out of the plastic holder. One of these. I'll see how much I can spin that on, but probably not much. You always have to be optimistic and try it, just in case. I'm gonna throw the tire on here. I think I got a Dodge Ram with no power steering next. Maco Man was here while I was at lunch, I guess. There's no prices on these carts. Honestly, doesn't it look pretty similar? The handles are different. Oh, they got pocket knives and jackets. Winter's coming. They got Milwaukee. Max Grundy design, $6.79. Really? Oh, that's the jack. Never mind. I thought that was the tool cart. Pocket lights from Streamlight. I bet you they're expensive. There's no price. See your dealer. Yeah, I know. Some of the stuff's not too bad. I mean, this is a little pricey. Tap and die thread chaser set, $460. Tap and die sets are expensive and are expensive to make too. It's all hardened steel. So carbide, I think, is what they're made out of. Hood prop. There's some good deals, some decent stuff in here. Temp sensor dealio. Oh, I have this set. I have the copy. I bought for like $105 on Amazon. It's like $240. $240 is really not bad. AES sells a really good set, but that's like $400 or $500 last I checked. But inexpensive scanner. Okay, let's get back to work. Oh, Oakley's. Come on, you can't spend your day without a pair of Oakley's. I can, because I need a prescription. And the last time I checked, Oakley's with a prescription lens were about $500 or $600. This here Dodge, 165,405 loving miles. It's going to get a love rating of 7, speaking of which. It's in good shape, even though it's old. It's like a 2005. I think it's a 2005. I mean, 2013. So I'm going to have a love rating of 5. Power steering. Oh, it just stopped. That's it. Power steering's out. It works about a second, half a second. And I already checked it, full disclosure. It has a code for internal module fault in the power steering rack. So, not a good look. And every light and dash is on, unrelated to the rack. It's got ABS codes for an internal ABS module failure, which we do these all the time. Joe just put one in yesterday, as a matter of fact, and the one we got from the junkyard was defective, so now he's got to put another one in. This also has the check engine lights on because of oil cinder or circuit. And if you go to the oil pressure on the dash, I bet you will show you there's oil pressure's erratic. TPMS sensor codes, airbag codes, key fob performance code in the RFH module, lighting codes in the BCM. But you gotta have steering. You can drive it without the other stuff working. So I am gonna go under the hood, check fuses and some things like that, but that's another full disclosure issue. I already brought up data, and I can read data in the power steering module. So it's got power and ground, it's powering up. It just can't work the motor the way it wants. So it shuts itself off and says, see dealer, or Jimmy, one of the two. I'll do some preliminary checks. We'll bring up the kind of things you need to look at to verify 100%, because a rack and pinion for this truck's probably $2,500. So you definitely got to check a couple of things, basics. Internal module faults are pretty forgiving with the shotgun auto services, because you don't get them if you got good powers and grounds. It's the only way you can get an internal module fault. Look at that contraption. That's not expensive at all. They're all doing it though. You can't fault Ram or Dodge for it. Power and ground. And then there's 3 wires in here. I believe one is ignition voltage and 2 CAN lines. Grounded to the case. The problem with this code, the rack's bad, but you got to go through the basics. It tells you in the flow chart to disconnect the connectors, look for bent or corroded pins or water intrusion, clean them up if it has any, reinstall them. If the code comes back, replace the rack and pinion. That's the flow chart. So yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we need a rack and pinion. That's what I'm saying. Alright guys, we are done for the day. Having a really good week this week. I hope you have enjoyed it. Getting a lot of things done. Got a couple decent jobs. That's all it takes to have a... I mean, I'm really amazed. I mean, I guess you guys can see that, but I'm at like 33 hours for the week already. It's only Tuesday. Just a couple of good jobs. That's all it takes. So when you're not hunting on intermittent things that don't happen while you're checking them and all that kind of stuff, it can waste hours and hours and hours. And I'm getting better about trying to do that the right way too, so it's fair for everybody, even this guy. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Really appreciate your company. Hope you got something from it. Maybe you'll torque the like button. You guys know there's hype and there's Amazon stores and the Sticker Mule store and all that stuff that I'm not really good about. Oh, Fast and Furious. That was an actual Fast and Furious car. Should have turned the camera quicker. I don't like to try to sell people stuff, but it's there if you're interested. Some people have asked about it, so thanks for watching. I hope I see you in another video, because you're awesome.